Ladies and gentlemen, this is the headline of international news as the whole world has gathered in Rome to bid farewell to Pope Francis. This is the perfect moment chosen. President Donald Trump and President Volodymyr Zelensky to talk business. That is to say, the funeral does not interest them. Yes, let's put it that way. These two met, as you can see, sitting. It was the second physical meeting after the altercation in the Oval Office. And this was under the auspices of President Emmanuel Macron and Stay Calmer, the British Prime Minister. Yes, as you can see in this other image. So, Zelensky and Trump had a conversation. They discussed. What was the discussion about? What should be noted is that the two spent nearly 15 minutes discussing just before the start of the funeral. It's in the Great Basilica of Rome. Look at how the two are sitting on chairs as simply as possible. Was it the ideal moment? This is the question that many are asking. You came for a funeral, greet each other well, say 2 or 3 words, and then move on. But like Donald Trump, he sees opportunities to do business everywhere. Especially this issue of Ukrainian minerals is so important to him. So they exchanged words. So, what came out of this exchange? Let's try to delve deeper, but I ask you to share the video. Share it as much as possible. So what should be noted is that the meeting took place even before the meeting occurred. Several statements from Donald Trump were issued in the form of ultimatums and Ukrainian counterproposals to his peace plan. So, since yesterday, he has made statements that we have not failed to address here on the platform of peace and conscience. Statements that resemble a sort of ultimatum or a form of opposition or counterproposals that have been made by Ukraine. Already when he said that Zelensky was 3 weeks late, whereas he should have signed the agreement on minerals 3 weeks ago, and that the ball was entirely in Ukraine's court, it was as if he was putting real pressure on Ukraine. And so, what is happening? According to official information, President Donald Trump and Zelensky exchanged words, and upon their exit, it was Zelensky who made the first statements. He said this: "We had a lot of discussions one-on-one, and that was good, because there was no one else. And then they were in neutral territory, in a territory of peace. So, in this regard, at least we can appreciate this exchange. We had a lot of discussions, one-on-one. We hope for results on all the points discussed." Here is the first statement from Zelensky, which he made in a message he published this Saturday on X. He says, "Protect the lives of our citizens. A total and unconditional ceasefire. A lasting and reliable peace that will prevent another war from breaking out." Here is what he said. Then he continued by saying, "A highly symbolic meeting that has the potential to become historic if we achieve common results." Here is the conclusion he gave while thanking the American president. The world still wants it to be a historic meeting. They had the one-on-one inside the Basilica in Rome. It is a sacred place, a holy place. It is a place that advocates for peace. If Zelensky agrees today to talk about peace with Donald Trump in this Basilica, while Pope Francis wanted to travel to see him and to see Vladimir Putin for the advent of peace, it surprises the world. If Zelensky agrees today to talk about Ukraine during Pope Francis's funeral, yet he had addressed unkind words that are not Catholic, towards Pope Francis when the latter told him, "You must raise the white flag for peace." If he agrees to talk, It is surprising. Let's delve deeper. What is being said? What is filtering through from this meeting? This meeting, which lasted 15 minutes, was the first, as we mentioned. According to Sky News, the American and Ukrainian presidents have agreed to speak again after the ceremony. So, on site, after the ceremony, the two will talk again. It should be noted that shortly after arriving in Rome, yesterday Friday, Donald Trump stated on social media that Ukraine and Russia should meet for high-level discussions to end the 3-year war triggered by the Russian invasion. Yes, by Russia's invasion. So his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, met with the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, earlier on Friday. Trump stated that both parties were very close to an agreement. So that Russia and Ukraine are very close to an agreement. So, at the moment, we have not yet seen a statement from Donald Trump. It is Volodymyr Zelensky's statement that we have just seen. Everything still suggests that an agreement will be reached. I have this conviction because if they agree to talk and let themselves be photographed in the basilica, it's a great symbol. It's a symbol. It's the message they're sending. It's like saying, well, and everything is in a Christian manner. It's like saying, yes, after the Pope's departure, it greatly influenced the advent of peace in Ukraine, since it was one of Pope Francis's wishes. It's like also saying that the church played a significant role. But is it that we will stick to that? We saw when Zelensky was very focused, we also saw Donald Trump adopting a posture as if he were making a confession at the Catholic Church. We know what we call confession. That is to say everything we think. The two were really face to face. So, for the moment, we do not know the overall content, but already the announcements being made, a high-level meeting soon between Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump, another very high-level meeting between the Russian and Ukrainian delegations, that is to be applauded. It will take place very soon. Well, as they were in the holy place. And as Zelensky's advisors have not yet reacted. When I talk about these advisors, I mean these representatives, those who instigate him, these main instigators, Paris and London who were present, who are in the images. Certainly after the funerals, they will speak to him again in his ears, will. And then it will create other things. Where certainly Donald Trump has arrived in the United States of America with his advisors, everything will be mixed up again in his head. He will make a reversal. We really know. Whatever happens, we will continue to follow this news. And everything that will result from it, we will talk about it here on the platform for raising awareness. That was the headline of international news. I will be back with you shortly with new updates. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.